Stable. Stable. Stable, it says. But it's not. We're in the green. Okay. Don't care anymore. If it fucks, it fucks. If it sucks, it sucks. It has to be. It's probably the worst hardware failure I've had in probably a year or two. This here works. Okay. Let us start Shadowbringers because this here is simply annoying. My goal here is to get to the next area and unlock the city so we can go on. It's gonna be a very short stream. I want to do some minor things on my setup here and I need to work on that. Probably tomorrow will be a full stream after I'm done testing everything. Anyways, let's start. Fucking tired already. Good news, Sarah. We had stroke of luck in our search for the beacon. So yeah, a mysterious stranger came to us who has been calling us, and he asked us to find a beacon that he placed near the where was it? Near the tower. The crystal tower. So we had the tower sent out her friends of the Crystal Braves and all that, and the Science of Seven Dawn, which is the now real term, and looks like they found something. Apparently, our colleagues cross a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. Path I doubt we've ever found had the ironworks of the and the science not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we're eager eyes to apparently absolutely down there, checking under the rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. And we better go give them a hand. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We've had to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time to lose. There's a boat north, Silvertier, waiting to ferry you to the site, so let's be on our way. Silvertier, okay. Dream is still looking good, and we're not getting any of the other things. So I've turned everything down to 1080, which is fine, pretty much fine. I don't care anymore. I'm over it now. Whoops, wrong place. Actually what I want to do is food buff and all that stuff is gone. I had everything set up like a food buff and all that, and that's just been wasted. Frustrating. think coins ferryman. It is a survey site, madam. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and swiftest way to get there is by boat. Yes.
Look how many people there are! Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Okay. You can do that.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour.
Biggs.
You'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Totally forgot the voices.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
No idea, that looks weird.
Isn't
Fuck,
that the
weird.
ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
Throw wide the gates. I actually forgot we need to watch the goddamn trailer for all this here. We'll do that as soon as we've gotten through here.
Look at me, so.
Harsh one.
There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you, We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Heartbird. Warriors of Darkness.
Your time has not yet come.
Right? Right indeed.
From endless dreams I awake.
Massive headache.
Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Oh god, we need to get flying again in all the zones. Oh, alright. Oh, we have two expansions to do that in. Do we know this guy? He looks familiar.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
Night? It's bright day, man. What do you mean it's bright day?
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me granddad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk yet, he'd reply. Yeah. Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
No, I'm good, man. Good. Just woke up. Don't need a drink.
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for mounds around.
Okay.
Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Stare.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
Shadowbringer. And before we do something, just gonna quickly log out, and we're gonna go to movies. Watch that. Let's see what we can find out here. So this here was the battle that is ongoing at the borders between Garlemald and Alamigo. The Alamigan Fretline. At least that's what I'm thinking.
How many years have come and gone since that day?
Yep. So that's the fake Xenos that we know of.
For this moment. For the one that stood alone against the storm. For the one they called.
And we have no idea who that is. Job changing? The warrior. I think this here was when Warrior got a substantial revamp at least. Because Warrior was probably one of the best classes in Shadowbringers at the point. Or job, sorry.
We may accept this fate or defy it, but we
Boom. Come on.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
Here we have Banquet rescuing somebody.
This town certainly has changed. I'm not at all surprised. I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, Ophelia.
Young Ophelia. Yeah, was Dancer introduced here? I can't remember.
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
Here we have it.
If history
Sad
must
moment.
be unwritten, let it be unwritten. Become what you must.
Ah, Death Knight. Is that the major revamp? I can't remember. Which we still need to level up. He's level 80 at the moment. Back into the fight. We still have a couple of, I think 30 minutes or so left before we hit the Crystarium, which is where I'm gonna call it a day to figure out the rest of his. But then other shit show of many things, but yeah. And now we're stuck in the world. It's currently full. And that's because there's like 14 days until the next patch and people are trying to catch up. A lot of hype. Okay. We cannot mount in this location. We can run.
Halt!
Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not.
Was the
This is the
Briera
threshold of
introduced
the
in
Crystarian
Shadowbringers? Oh, I
stranger,
can't
and
remember.
I am its gatekeeper.
That's the female,
You would enter, you
because
will
the males
answer my
came later.
questions.
Well, you present yourself.
From where do you hail?
Cardona? Nimsalominsa.
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass.
Answer.
That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
That was the ring of him. The peasant.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
No harsh feelings. Just doing your job.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
Okay, I have a list, you know? I have a big list.
Right then. Before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
I didn't have a choice, FYI.
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you are still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are there sirens here, like the other ones that you fucked around with?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing
Oh, 10
everything
years
in
ago.
its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the
So
fortunate
90% of
few who
the
survived
population
are
was there.
hounded by
Was gone.
abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity.
Okay.
It was to save the First from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try. For in saving the First, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Okay. So we're in the first. So this here is a reflection. So one of the 14 shards, 13 shards plus the main source, which is 14 in total, is we're in, and we know a couple of them. So one of what is the void. That is, I can't remember the number, but that's the one that was consumed in darkness. So this here is consumed in primordial light. So the opposite, technically. That's what we've gotten of information so far.
Such a proud and vibrant city.
Indeed. Beautiful city.
The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol. A monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Weapon coffer. I'll put that away. The Exile has a request for you. Now, a full of frank discussion in the privacy of my studio. Oh shit. But I think a conversation would be more meaningful if were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To the end, I would like to you to visit a few of Crystarian civics leaders and glean of something in the world of their predicament. As you can see, this path is taken directly into the Aetherite, a conversation in which I'm sure you have true form to being rightful object of my summoning spell. You should, in theory, be able to reach all the way back along the Aether Trail to the connection of the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete the attunement before venturing any further. Will do. After you've done so, walk the steps to the Aetherite and head out to the left and achieve the Crystallian Mean. Crystallian Main, or Mean. This is where you will find a collection of crafters, gatherers, and well-spoken spokeswomen. Pathless is one of the people you should meet. Another Moor is Morin. To reach him is the Cabin of Curiosity, and you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps. Take the exits to the left and simply continue straight along down until you come to the large doors in the path end. Third, and the final person I would like you to meet is Barky, our man in charge of trading and distribution of the heroes found in the market, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetherite Plaza. In seek of each of my colleagues, you will visit the major of district cities. I hope to gain for the play. Please trust your direction were simple enough. Crystal clear. Pun not intended. Ha, very good. I can see the layout of Crystariums are owners of the historic necessary that planning. I'm sure you will learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, this true challenge may be finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you're discovering during the encounter of the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of elder stars and struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exile. There is unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into the particular mystery. Then you have finished making your rounds. Pray meet me in a large courtyard in the center of the town. Until then, we're just gonna do the rounds here, and that's gonna be it. Then we're pretty much been online for an hour, and I can maybe come back later today. I don't know. Maybe. Mount is unavailable, of course. The sense of direction of distance of the current ether, the connection of these elements in faith, but stable, you should allow it to teleportation to DeFi into the source. And we are gonna predestination. Here we have it. He said let's go up first. Okay. And of course there's somebody at the door. I have to wait. That's Caithless. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're not, you're new to our fair city. Well, for what's worth, you're chosen a fine as century. You turn a fine century. The exiled can throw up a barrier if the seniors come knocking, so it's damn sight safer in here than out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us in the mean. They work together to procure materials and resources and crafting goods to make rich life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle to forge. Just don't go thinking it'll be handed to you on a plate like those Lemurian layabouts. Here at the Crystal Haven, we work for a living. Though I can see you're no stranger to our honest labor, you don't have to whiff of a morsel about you in some folk I've met. Still, can't quite pin you down professions. Where are you from? One of the exile's countrymen, you say, I see. Then, well then, I worked twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't exist even if it weren't for him. And our friend here, of his friend is ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say that grand magic summonings the Crystal Tower into existence pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of the refugees began congregating around the bay, its base despite the shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. The exiles' invitation buildings started growing up, and with the help of some curious relics brought from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you can see today. The city stood here for decades now, and the eldest among us swear the exile looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about shared homeland, then the folks here will respect your wishes of privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you ought to contribute to the front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle it. Just ask for Catalyst and you'll find your niche here in the Crystalline Main. You can help us keep the cog in the city greased and turning. The exchange in Catalyst taught you about the life of Crystarium. Now we need to go back and down into the curious thing of curiosity. Oh, I forgot to motherfucker. Oh well. Do that later. I can do it right here. Be stupid not to. Cabinet of Curiosity. Let us talk with the next one. Oren. Excuse me, miss. I recently come to the city, perchance. I'm quite familiar with the civic roles you see, and well, what I mean to ask, have you brought any books with you? I rumple scrolls, even a scrap of scribble of parchment? No? My apologies, literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of conception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are possible of curating all manners of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the writing word, or written word. Horrific as the loss of life at the land warped by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to the recorder's knowledge was no less catastrophic, and a few do all we can to preserve that wisdom survive. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet? So you're looking for a title, perhaps? Mayhaps a spot of academic research? Oh, so you're interested in the modern history. Splendid. Oh, the review of the recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visually to accompany the accounts, then I think I have an illustration history book of children somewhere. Just a moment, I'll fetch it for you. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable. On the lesson then. A 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Life slew the Shadow Keeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wakes of his tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as it formed unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous binding wave rose up and swelled across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Eventually, it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet, just when it seems that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us, the Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom. By her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norad, and Norad's alone spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. Of the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspects to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnated, and their effulgent presence stole the night from the Norrand sky. Even now, the circle that remains bastion of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become to what it is, and should you ever wish to hear this tale again, I'll be glad to retell it for you. Oh. If you'd rather speak on other matters, or two would be my pleasure, I should be glad to accompany. The exchange of the morning has taught you about the Flood of Light. So, I'm interested, so... The Shadow Bringer, or Shadow Hunter, or whatever he was called, I can't remember the correct name, was slain by people. Who were they? Like, is there any record of that? The question is, and this here is the tricky part, who are they, good or were they good or evil? Like, we don't know. At least not now. Because Light won here, but the problem is it didn't turn out that great at the end. Just gonna hide this here. No. I'm gonna go upstairs and get those two Aetherites. So we have them. I will be most frustrated if I don't have them. It's right over here. This here also has script exchange and all that good stuff. Okay. Just want to check something here. do this. Ah. Now it totally fucks up. Great. No, 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 no. That's frustrating. Can I kick it alive again? Let me check. If I do set and set. Trying to get this here to work because it's frustrating. Oh, that. Okay, where were we? Sorry about that. Oh, we need to go up here. It's up the stairs. Da, 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 da. Check. Am I actually using it correct? Yes, I am. Okay. There we are. There's these right. Being a little bit of a sneak here, because we got these, now we can get this one here. And I can do this. Yep. Not that one yet. That's because that one is outside here, I thought. Near the... yeah. Near the hunting board. And we go south. Okay, so we have 1, 2. We're gonna do that before we talk to him. And the last one is... over here. These are Sebastians. Great. And let us braggy. Talk to him. New to the city, friend. Spinning ahead, wide eyes give you away. Welcome, my name is Braggy, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave me the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. to floor it by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for the Glantians such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Sorry, did you say Gladian? I had something wrong. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a human, and the taller one is an elf. The fellow over there is a gladiant. You. Which we call a Hrothgar. And the one with the horns is a Dran. And then you have the large scaly claps along with the neck of the wrestling livestock. Those are the Zund. Oh, sorry, Rogadin. Sorry, not a Hrothgar. He's a Hrothgar. Which is apparently is not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, the same as the Exiles. Well, that explains it. We don't get much further flung than that. We had a few of our lost paths through the recent years, and despite of the obvious learning, they floated over the simplest things. But not to worry. If you find yourself confused about local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. In exchange for Braga to talk to you about the peoples of the first. Now we can go over here and then teleport to those gates. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleague help you in forming a clearer picture of the world and its people? Yes, it seems you're treated to the most thorough introduction. I understand that's something of a chore, but that's necessary to grasp these vibes before the report proceed. And for Crystal Tower's origin, you may have a note the details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, self-same one of the from the source transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt to breaching the boundaries between the worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which area I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. So he teleported the Crystal Tower to the first, but he doesn't know which era from. And since it's still standing in our era, okay. I've done as you requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time for I fulfill my half bargain. I'll explain on behalf of your comrades. That is the conversation. We'd rather have privacy in my quarters. However, you must go ahead into town and organize a few things. But I shall see that the guards know that you admit you. The tower gates lies open then? Well, yes, of course. It can be open and closed just like any other. Does that seem strange to you? I know not that the towers function in your time, but I assure you there is no danger of being locked inside. Greetings, Pam. The exile awaits you within.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind. Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow scions. To put it simply, they are here in the first. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time. As for your companions, however, Y'shtola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5. Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well.
That's one big fumble.
As they were the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch. Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
That's a little bit of a minor fuck up on your part. Find a way to send it back.
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future, that which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die. And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips.
Okay, where are they?
I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
For the moment.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
Lexart. Sarah and both a number of residential districts and have informed the room has just become available at the Pendants. Which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path will take us there to the markets, and I hope we give you an introduction to their wares. Come along. Okay.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here.
Okay, great. Is Gil a viable option?
Yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The Gil you carry will serve you well enough. Each nation once minted its own coins, but 'twas all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term Gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of Gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 Gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Tombstones. Elegant.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your home world. Avan Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
My dear Fettouhi, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine lady is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from her home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin.
I don't want it.
But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails?
Yeah?
Just as I thought! then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand. Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap a message to your friends in the Source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Send a message to Taro. Even though I would do Crow, but Crow would probably be very confused.
As you heard, that was Fettouhi with the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Fettouhi is insatiably curious even by Pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
Indeed. As a result of failure, you have access to delivery of moveless market reports and the summoning report. Okay. Ah, there you are. It was finalized the matter of accommodation. Your private room here in the independent for the duration to stay to make use as you see fit. When you're ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings, praise, rest, and recuperate, and I shall reconvene at the Ocular Anon. I believe that covers all the particular concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Sarah Alden. We are denied the comfort of blanket of the night, but may peaceful dreams attend to you nonetheless. Pleasure to meet you, miss. Welcome to the new home of the peasant, or dependent. Your room is ready. If you care to retire, I do. Or night. Heartbird.
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the Source.
Warrior of darkness.
What? Did you just... You can hear me? Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the Source. A daft one, looking back. If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source, and tried to hasten their God's damned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the First. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness.
Okay, so they and Minfilia stopped it.
Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood?
10 years.
100 years.
100? Jesus. 100, a decade, a century.
Years. My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed...
Yeah, a century is 100 years. A decade is 10.
I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me?
No idea,
What are you
man.
even doing here, come to that?
That's a good question. But so far I'm here to help from the looks of it.
You were summoned to save the First. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who try to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
As long as you're not watching when I'm sleeping, that's creepy. Speak with the manager of Sweets. just trying to unlock so we can actually use the city, because we can't use anything right now. Yes, Mr. Sir, the exile is awaiting you. Here he is.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest. I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrand, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland.
Okay.
To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement.
Sounds like Alphino.
Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armareng. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calicia or Armareng? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you've made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
Okay. Okay. Let us put this away. Alize? Ready to depart for Armareng. Alize will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she's particularly concerned for your well-being. She is impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was, repeatedly. The only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here, letter of introduction addressed to the man named Khazard. The master of the merchant of caravan. There are a few who know the way of the desert, and he, as well as he does, and find him at Amore Lounge. And he will see to you that you reach your destination. We can just do both. You visit the Alpha Node in Calusia, then. Oh, excellent. I mentioned your destination of the islands of West Coast. You will see the mountain capable of making your journey. Here is the letter of introduction. Present Zeems, the engineer, the master of Beast, and the Channel Rockies, and he'll take you there. When you see Alpha Node, make sure to pass on my warmest regards. Awesome. And here we have it. Everything is open now. Sites of the first and all that stuff. And this is where we leave for now. So we can now go around and get to either Alpha Node or Alizé's. But right now, I need to figure out all this here mess which has been happening, and I need to do some other things. Well, until next time, and thank you again. Thank you so much for stopping by for this here horrible mess. But again, until next time, bye.